Fish in the sea.
Hey.
8 fish in the sea.
What are you guys watching?
A littlest frog.
A lovely frog.
I like Spirit.
You like Spirit?
She got a new Spirit movie on.
I know. Guess what? We brought it so you could watch it at Mimi's. Because Mommy and Daddy have a super important appointment today. Okay? And you guys are going to go hang out with Grandma. And we're getting power in the house today. And we're getting power in the house today.
Yay!
Yay! So the lights will officially be ready.
Babysit us.
That's right. So it'll just be a couple hours, but we're going to get on the road, okay?
Okay.
Good morning, friends. I think this day snuck up on me. It might be sneaking up on you a little bit too. I'll try not to yell too loud because it echoes in here. Well, I think there's no surprise based on probably the title of this video, but today's the day we are going back to at least start and get established at the fertility clinic. We are at Philip's mom's house right now, and she's gonna watch the girls while we go to our first appointment. I think my brain's a little bit in shock, but what's crazy is right now is the exact spacing between Kinsley and Callie, meaning the age Cassidy is right now, we would have a newborn with a almost 16-month age gap. And we loved having the kiddos close together in age. With this past year, we were definitely not ready to have another baby. And even now, I am technically still nursing. So I'm really curious what he's going to say. It's more for comfort, but I would say there is probably 2 substantial feedings during the day and maybe 1 snack, mostly morning and night. Sometimes I try to bypass that morning feeding, but I know most likely they will say I have to completely wean before we can move forward with treatment. And I'm curious how long, but I did get my cycle back a few months ago. So, and it's been regular. So I am curious what they're gonna say today. I feel a little emotional, and my heart's a little bit reminded of the hope that you have to hold on to of, is this process going to work? Our next embryo shouldn't be judged based on a letter grade. Just like in school, a letter grade doesn't always equal understanding and knowing material, but there is a grading for a reason. So Cassidy was what we call an AA. She was an A grading for her, the sac she was in, and then the cluster of cells, which is the baby, that was also graded as an A. So she was an AA. Our next embryo is a CA, which means baby is a grade C, but the sac is a grade A. So a couple years ago when we talked to the embryologist, they said that it's very likely that embryo is going to stick. It's just a matter of, are we gonna grow? And I don't wanna worry or stress, but my heart is thrown back to the last 4 years of doing IVF. And technically, even more than that, it was 5 years ago that we did our first retrieval. And this embryo is actually from our very first retrieval. It was the embryo that was left from our first round. And that embryo, we ended up adding on to our next retrieval to do genetic testing because we had so many losses. And through our second retrieval, we did have chromosomal abnormalities, which showed why we were not staying pregnant, maybe our first round, because we didn't know the genetics the first round. However, our very last embryo was genetically typical, and that is our next embryo. that we could transfer. Philip and I are very much jump in 2 feet. So does that mean, like, if they give us the go-ahead that next month we could potentially be doing a transfer? I don't know. You do it again?
Do it.
Put your hands down and stand up.
Hey,
Try it again. Stand up.
Mama.
Oh. Stand
No,
up.
I Oh, you can go.
All right, love you all.
Mimi, what?
Yeah.
Is there more stuff?
This is how we normally look.
Okay, we're gonna
Walking around, headphones on,
Yep.
laptop in hand.
Wait, we have 20 seconds until it's done uploading.
It takes about 1.5 minutes to upload here. It takes about 12 hours at our house.
Just
to give
different.
perspective.
13 seconds.
I have not been posting on Instagram lately because it takes a million years for it to upload. Like, it literally actually
we haven't
won't
left the
upload.
house because it's been raining for 2 weeks. And when the rain works, the internet doesn't work. When
it's raining, there's no internet,
there's
and so
no internet. Not
I haven't
just
shared
like,
on stories, but now that we're out of the house, maybe I'll jump on stories today.
Starlink,
out of the hole.
please come and save us.
We're supposed to be getting Starlink by the end of the year, and if that's the case, we will then have internet at our house, and we will be able to do what we normally do, which is post and share like we used to.
We registered for it 6 to 7 months ago.
Yeah, but they said it should be here by the end of the year.
So hopefully it will help us. It's a different type of technology than your normal satellite internet.
Yeah.
So people in rural all over the world are saying they finally have internet.
Finally internet. Okay, let's get in the car. Oh my gosh.
How do you feel about this appointment? You seem extremely stressed.
I know, Philip says stop bossing him around how to drive because I'm getting anxious.
Why are you anxious?
It's been a while since any of this, and we're gonna find out a little bit of information on what's going on, get some lab results that we've done.
But can you be honest? Like, are you scared about this appointment? Are you nervous? Like, what is it?
It's one of those, we've done this the whole time, where literally it's like, okay, jump. That's how it feels for our entire family building journey. Mm-hmm. And it feels like that again, because if I am an analysis to paralysis, whatever the phrase is, person. And so I have learned that I can't think about it because otherwise it'll go way too long in between. And it's just one of those where you just have to jump. And I was saying that this is the age gap between Kinsley and Callie, and we love that age gap. And not that 3.5 years was awesome too, but it would be great to be a little bit less than that. Maybe at the 2-year mark, have kids about a couple years apart.
Yeah, Kinsley and Callie are 16 months apart.
Yeah.
Cassidy and new one, if you got pregnant, let's say sooner than later, with no issues or bumps in the road, they'd be 2.5 years apart at the absolute minimum.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't.
That's the hardest part of infertility. Well, maybe not the hardest part, but that's one of the anxieties that you deal with.
It's really hard that you have to think through so much. And we've been trying for a couple of months since I had my cycle back, and just that reminder of,
oh yeah,
it doesn't work like that for you guys, and that's hard.
Yeah. Okay, let's get in there.
Okay.
Also, the phrase is called paralysis by analysis.
Paralysis by analysis. That's me in a nutshell. All right. We're back in the car. I'm not going to lie. I don't love this. I spent some of the time just I wouldn't say I got teary in there
Once you did.
once, but just more of like back at it of I need to know this, what date, what do I need to schedule, who do I need to call, all the going forward. And then I just at one point just slumped in my chair and just, I hate this. And I don't think that's the most exciting, motivational first day back at the fertility clinic, but I think it's real. And if you haven't gone through infertility, it's kind of like, no, come on, guys, like, smile. If you've gone through infertility, you know exactly what I am saying and what I'm talking about, where you just want to bang your head on the wall and say, why is this real life? It stinks. There's no other word than it just stinks. I would ask Philip how he feels, but honestly, I think he probably feels even worse than I do. Just, we don't like this. It's not fun, but you look at your results of growing your family and it's all worth it. And of course, you're just going to say it's all worth it, but it doesn't make it easier. It still stinks. How are you feeling from the appointment?
I have multiple reactions. I think the first one is just kind of that sense of that selfish reaction of this is so unfair.
Yeah.
That this is how we have to grow our family.
Yeah.
It's
What do you say to the people that say, we don't have to grow your family?
I would say I totally get it. I would say if the juice is not worth the squeeze, then don't go buy another fruit. Like,
Sure. That's a good little.
I think
That's easy. That's easy for someone to say that doesn't struggle with infertility.
Yeah,
It's so easy to look as an outsider and say, well, then, it's not. Then don't do it.
Yeah, they just have. And so I, truthfully, like, there's been so many times I see the result and I see how good the juice is, and I realize like what it actually becomes. However, this is a very taxing. Going through infertility, trying to start a family, building your family once you've had kids, it's taxing. Like, it is not just a financial drain. It's a physical drain. It's I was like, oh yeah, I remember how many appointments there are. I remember how many times you're going to be on the phone with insurance and trying to figure out what's the best price for medication. I realized I'm going to be battling the emotion between how draining this process is and still being present with my wife and my kids and my friends and family. And it's like oh my gosh, are we doing this? And if so, I mean, I guess we are, but because we are, I feel like that this period that we're coming out of at home, staying at home, building, all of this stuff that we've been doing for a year, going, oh my gosh, like, okay, that was the season of rest. Here comes the season of chaos.
But it wasn't even a season of rest.
But
I'm really.
But for how fast paced our life is, that was kind of rest if you're being real about it.
Yeah, we do live a very fast-paced life, and I am very hard on myself of we don't do enough, even though we do so much, but there's so many things I really want to do, and it's just a matter of trying to figure out how to make all of those things happen. But honestly, my biggest passion is for us to have a large family. And honestly, what was supposed to be kind of a non-compliment the other day in a comment, I actually left thinking, oh, that's kind of a compliment. Like, they were calling me a quiverful. You quiverful families or something like that. And I had to remember and look up what that was again. But it was pretty much saying like that you desire to have a big, huge family.
Yeah, but it also just means like you're not going to stop until you're not going to abstain from trying to have kids
Sure.
at all times. It's meant as a derogatory statement saying that people you people that are just going to go ahead and have as many kids as possible. Alex takes it as a compliment.
I took it as a compliment in the sense of like, it's been so hard to get to 3 children. And the idea of going again for 4, I'm like, I feel like the rain is perfect for this. I hate this.
Yeah.
I really miss my old fertility clinic because they were my team and they know me and they know all the things we went through and what is the best plan.
You got traded to a different team and now you're still playing the same game.
Yeah.
But you have
game.
You have different trainers, you have different coaches, you have different people and teammates, and that's the reality of uprooting our life from Southern California now to Nashville. I think it's really important to say that a lot of people will say to us, maybe not necessarily meant as like a positive comment, to say like, gosh, why do you guys spend so much energy and time and money building your family? Like, you're not even grateful for the ones at home. I hope you hear me when I say that this process is about the future. This process is not about, like, this process is so grueling to grow your family. Like, why would you intentionally put yourself through that? Like, that's so, like, this is not a selfish thing in terms of, gosh, I love going to get blood drawn every day.
I love leaving my kids back at home with either Mimi or somebody and have to go do this.
I love the tears. I love the injections. I love the emotions. I love the bruising. I love the financial cost of it. Like that. People that say things like that are
just they didn't go through it. They just haven't
super unaware.
Yeah, they just haven't gone through it.
The reality of that type of comment, of how untrue it is rooted in an inability to empathize and connect with others. It's rooted in an inability to show compassion and say, of course, let me logically think through why would you get your blood drawn? Why would you go through all of that if there's still tears in the process? Now, I would say that you suffer through the hardships in order to get to the future glories, the future greatness. That's why we put our faith in Jesus, because everything on this earth is just a temporary shell. We're a temporary we are practicing for eternity. We're learning how to be who we want to be forever. And so this process of going through infertility treatments or going through the adoption process or whatever process of building your family, that's the hardest point of it. Raising the children is the joy. Being with your kids every day is the joy. So why would you say that, you guys love this so much? No, it's not that at all. You guys are so selfish for wanting more children. No, not at all. The reality is we go through this because the future is not how can we divide our love between all these kids. It is every time a new child added to our family, the love just grew. I remember bawling my eyes out the idea that Kinsley was going to have a sibling, because how dare I think Kinsley deserves all my love. And I cried. Philip's like, it's nice to give her a sibling. And I was just so emotionally overwhelmed. And every single time it feels like that, of like, I love all my kids. Like, but every time you add to the family, then you're like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine doing life without you. Yeah. And there's a lot more to think through now that we have all 3 girls at home. There's a lot more that we have to think through about timing wise and what's going to happen and how are we going to make that happen. And I've never wanted to go through this process. I loathe this process. I'm uncomfortable. I am made uncomfortable by this process in a lot of areas. But then I look at the juice and I go, oh my gosh, so worth it. All of the waiting is worth it. And there's certain situations where people go through the infertility and they go through the clinics and they go through all this stuff and they don't end up with the juice. And that's the most heartbreaking. And the positional perspective that we have is when we walk away, when the camera gets turned off in a second, we just truly go, gosh, like, we're so blessed.
Mm-hmm.
If we go through this journey again and nothing
comes of it, we know that we did our best. Mm-hmm.
And we know that we're so blessed.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just blessed because there's children at home, which would be the obvious thing to be blessed about,
Mm-hmm.
but we're blessed because our marriage flourishes in the midst of crisis.
Mm-hmm.
We become closer together in the midst of adversity.
Yeah.
And we're able to encourage other people in the midst of our deepest pains. And it's become a process for us of showing and documenting that pain with the only purpose that someone would find hope and healing and encouragement through it. And so whatever that looks like going forward, that probably the documentation of this whole process will be very different than it has in the past.
Yeah.
But we do want you to know that on big days like this, that we're so fully and keenly aware that we are abundantly blessed.
Mm-hmm.
And we aren't being selfish by wanting to add to our family, but we are being future minded.
Mm-hmm.
And we are being cognizant of our surroundings at the same time that we are saying, okay, I'm willing to go through adversity for the opportunity to have some incredibly delicious orange juice.
I love that that's your metaphor, this video. Okay, we will end today's video here. Go ahead and come back for our next video. I will sit down and kind of give you the results, which were not fun, and our plan going forward, which feels like the plate's already full and I'm already like, it's so weird. I go through different moments and I'll share when I'm at different moments. There are some moments I'm super excited and I don't mind it and I don't shy away from medical stuff. But right now I am a little sad that this is our journey.
Yeah.
And was hopeful that maybe we would get some better news, that maybe infertility wasn't a must for us, but with our results it is a must. So
yeah, I was hopeful that my results would have come back, that because Alex has carried now, that it would be easier for us to just get pregnant naturally. But my situation has not improved, and maybe never will improve, or maybe there's something that it can do.
Yeah, so I'm about to go call the doctor for Philip to go see another doctor, and I will update you guys next video. Mm-hmm. We're gonna run in.
Can I say one thing before we leave?
Last
friends,
mm-hmm.
These types of videos where we have big news and sometimes we get more people that are coming to check us out.
Yeah.
We genuinely want you guys to know that we are so sorry that you're going through something similar. We're so with you and understand that this documentation in this channel was built off of the anticipation that it would help and encourage you, that you would not feel alone.
And it just sucks.
And
I'm just gonna tell
you're not in a boat all to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a massive, massive Titanic-like ship.
We're all going down together. That's the worst.
No, listen.
There's a lot of us.
We are all on board the
mm-hmm.
same boat.
Yeah.
And we are.
And there's different groups, and I want everyone to feel supported. I want the people who go through infertility but are able to get pregnant and conceive, and they might have a big family. They feel like they're in their own isolated boat of, hey, I still struggle with infertility just because I have a big family. Now there's some that are in the beginning of their journey, or they've been on the journey forever, and they still don't have that baby in their arms. They are drowning, and they need the love and compassion of our community here to rally around them. And then there are a lot in our boat where you do have a family at home and you would like to continue to build your family, and you might feel that there's not the support you would like, that it still hurts. And guess what? When you're done building your family, it's still going to hurt. Infertility carries the rest of your life, because just because you are done building your family doesn't mean that that pain goes away. That is just with you. You get through it, you don't get over it.
Yes.
And it's a part of your life that you say, hey, why did I have to go through that? That stinks. But the best encouragement I have is that if you do go through it, that you, at least at some point in your life, help and support and encourage somebody else.
Yeah.
And if you can encourage somebody else, it feels a little bit more worth it.
Purposeful.
That we are very positive people, and we get asked why a lot, and it is because we have this eternal mindset that our life is more than just the here and now, that we are focused on eternity, that we are going to be spending eternity with Jesus. And what can we do here and now on this earth to grow and get closer to Him and be better people? And so we do go through hard parts and hard seasons, and we still cry, but it's a blip in the timeline. And so for now, we are signing off, and we love you guys, and we'll see you guys in our next video. Go let your love multiply. Bye, guys.